Ready?
Hey, I'm Evan.
And I'm Mark.
This is a Something to Poop podcast.
And on this week's episode, I interrupt Evan.
We talk about how everything is the whole game. We
The
pop
whole game.
We pop Mark's cancer cells. And he tells a weird story about his wife.
I do. How's it going, man?
Good. Here we are. I'm tired.
Still from the sleep
I am
survey,
like,
you have not
exhausted.
recovered?
Well, I did the sleep test 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
When did I go? Tuesday night?
It's Friday. You went Tuesday night. We spoke Wednesday morning. And it's been a few
But
days.
the past 2 nights I haven't slept well either. So it's been, when it's 3 days of no sleep, that's when it starts to like really hit me. So
what you're literally not sleeping? Like you're staying up late, you're getting up early, you're laying in bed, or it's just uncomfortable tossing and turning and whatnot?
no schedule, not. So the first night was a sleep test, which was, you don't sleep in a sleep test.
Yeah.
The second day I had to wake up early to drive Nina to the airport.
What? Where'd she go? New York?
We're in New York this weekend.
Oh, okay.
She went down early.
Yep.
So I had to wake up early to go do that. And then last night I was up super late working on stuff because we're splitting up my YouTube channel again. So there's a top 10 channel is going to be its own thing.
What? You're actually doing it? You did mention it in passing.
But of course,
I think
dude,
last week.
Listen, when I mention something in passing,
That means it's happening.
what do you think is going to happen? Right? And of course,
But you mentioned in passing with me telling you that splitting up your channels was probably a huge mistake, and then your response was, yeah, actually we're going to split it up even more probably.
Yeah, we might. It might be the biggest mistake. But I also, of course, typical Evan of when I first got the idea from, I met Matt Geelan in California. He suggested it. We rolled out all together this 1 month time frame. He's like, that's pretty aggressive. Like, don't worry, 1 month, we can do it.
Yeah.
And then of course it has to be like this Saturday, right? Like 1 month is it just destroys me. The idea that this is going to happen in 3 weeks is like, 3 weeks is 2020.
Yeah.
I can't wait 3 weeks. It would literally destroy me. Like the idea that this thing is going to happen in 3 weeks is just death.
Okay, so your main channel with 2 million plus subscribers is going to be dedicated to what? Top 10s?
No, Believe Life.
What?
The Believe Life series is the best series on my channel.
And what is the Believe Life series? That's the one where you take 4 different people and then you combine them based on themes.
Yep.
Okay. And then your top 10s are going to a new channel?
Yep.
Okay. And then all the other stuff is going to where it already sits.
Yes.
Okay.
So behind that, there's a bunch of logistics that are disgusting, but amazing. But that just need to be figured out. And
How's my hair today?
Your what?
How's my hair today? Is it okay? I just realized I'm in my kitchen. I've got this light that we haven't replaced yet.
Yeah, it's pretty ghetto.
It's super ghetto, but yeah, and my hair's a mess and I'm on camera. I don't ever think about that because I think of this as an audio experience, but here you are, Evan, you're actually looking good. You got your Doritos bag, you got your great lighting, you got your office.
Mark's just disrespecting the YouTube audience. Sorry guys. I'm
not.
Gonna do my best.
I'm not. It's just that's an Evan channel. That's an Evan thing. I'm in charge of audio.
This is our thing, Mark. It's our thing. You named this show.
Yeah.
Have some respect for the YouTube audience.
I love the YouTube audience.
Wow.
I just don't ever think of them.
Hashtag lip service.
Hedge City. It's Hedge City.
Hedge City. That's there you go.
I love it. I love it. When you say, what did you say that at dinner? We went out for dinner 2 weeks ago or something, and you were talking about something. You're like, it's Hedge City, and I told you I wanted a T-shirt that said that. Oh man, I love that so much.
I kind of remember that. I don't remember what the context was, but anyway. So last night I was up late working on all this stuff because I want to launch. We're basically tomorrow. Today's Friday. By the time this comes out, it's already launched.
Yeah.
So nothing is ready, of course. And let's go. That's how we roll. So everybody's now pulling and talking and figuring stuff out to make it happen. I mean, I'm super blessed that I have a team that can deal with my insanity.
Super blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. Ray, my guy, who's doing a lot of the manual work, he just finished a whole bunch of tasks for me on the new channel, and then he messages me. He's like, "Is there anything else I can do? This is fun." It's like,
Is that the second Ray reference in the last 2 weeks? You were talking
okay,
about his thumbnails last week on the podcast,
okay,
right? And how
great.
he did 6,000 or something, and then you're like, let's do them all again.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And now I'm pulling them off the thumbnails to do titles and uploads and end cards. And oh, I forgot to do this. Okay, great. And he's just like, what else can I do? So yeah,
Oh,
I'm
man.
blessed to have a pretty spectacular team to to do all this stuff and deal with my crazy. But I don't want to wait 3 more weeks, guys. Come on, we're on a mission here.
But you're not
I'm gonna
waiting.
die.
It's happening on Saturday. It's happening tomorrow, isn't it?
No, I know exactly. But when I was in California last week,
Yeah.
that's when we came up with the idea. I initially said 1 month, and
Yes.
then I got home and said, no, this has to happen like this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. 1 month is too long.
And yeah, I don't even need to go into it. Yes, 1 month is too long. That even feels ridiculous to me. And I'm the turtle you like to call me. So
Oh, it's not actually like, it's a lot of work. It's a
Is
lot
it?
of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's
okay.
a lot of work. It's for me, right? Like I love speed.
Yeah.
It's actually too fast.
But are you pulling stuff down and then uploading them somewhere else? Or are you just driving, like going forward, all the old stuff's grandfathered, the new stuff just goes here?
We're not pulling stuff down.
Okay.
Not pulling, but anyway, we don't need to die. I mean, we can if you want.
No,
but
I don't really care that much.
It's a crap ton of work and major shifts in roles and responsibilities. So everybody's role has now new shifts in them.
Yeah.
So it's like getting everybody on the same page and who's doing what, roles and responsibilities, getting everything up with it. And of course, at the same time.
When did Nina go to New York? Yesterday morning?
Yeah.
That's why you stayed up all night. You don't have her there to remind you to sleep.
Oh, yeah. But then I thought I'll sleep in, but then I couldn't sleep in because I'm just so used to waking up.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I had to take my neighbor's dog.
Okay.
Chaos. Dude, it's chaos.
And then you're flying out tonight.
Yeah, this afternoon, like shortly after this.
Oh, okay.
What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
My thought process is a little slowed down at the moment. 3 days of lack of sleep. Oh, at the same time of launching all these sub channels, I also decided that I need to rebrand all of my color schemes. Right. So then I had to do color schemes for all the different channels.
You're not taking my shade of yellow, are you?
The orange is changing a little bit to more.
The orange can change. You're not
gold.
taking my shade of yellow, right?
Each channel is going to have the black backgrounds aren't going to be on the thumbnails.
Okay.
For most of them going forward. That's rolling out, but I had to anyway. It's been a lot of work. It's been amazing though, right?
But you're proud of yourself. You look fired up, man.
Oh yeah. I'm exhausted. 3 days is where it kicks in, but I'm super pumped. I can't wait. I know like tomorrow we need to launch and half of the thumbnails aren't going to be like, I'm going to be doing thumbnails tomorrow in New York. That's what's going to happen. Yep.
Saturday's Nina's day.
Yeah.
It's not Evan thumbnail day.
Well, Saturday is launch. Saturday is launch day. Yeah, with Nina. She'll be there right next to me in New York. Yeah.
Cool.
It happens.
Cool.
You consistently do.
Ooh, I like that. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see what happens. I need you to get bigger and drag me along with you.
Drag me along. So I mean, on top of that, we got the book is coming out. I've been fighting with my publisher because they don't like the cover of that one. Oh no, like whatever. Their cover was ridiculous. And then I polled my audience and the opinions were all over the place. Like, okay, I'm just gonna split test 10 covers. We ran ads against 37,000 impressions against entrepreneurs on Facebook.
Yep, I got served an ad.
Oh, really? Okay, good. And then
just one of them. So I don't know how it. Yeah, I only saw one
entrepreneur interests.
Yep.
North America. So it wasn't targeted to Toronto or even people who necessarily knew me or were fans and followers, right? So that makes sense. You'd only get it once. And we found our winning cover and we sent it off to them. and just fights with like, well, we need, what's our cover? Like, guys, you've given me nothing. Like I'm doing the whole thing here. I'm split testing. So I need until Friday or whatever it was to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't like that. I put Oprah's Winfrey's letter to herself, letter to her younger self.
Yeah, because of copyright stuff.
They wouldn't let me do the whole thing. So then I had to.
Yeah, you're only allowed to do 400 words or something. Like there's an actual.
Words is the whole thing. No, they cut me down to like 90 something words.
I think within the U.S. Oh, I guess maybe not in Canada, but within the U.S. IP, you're allowed to reference. There is a reference that you can do as part of.
So I should have talked to Mark Drager first because I had to rewrite all that, and then my YouTube course is launching, and so New York, I'm meeting my agent tomorrow, and we're gonna have coffee and talk about the launch, affiliate deals.
Yeah, listen, you're awesome, man. You're going through all the stuff you're doing to crush it.
All at the same time.
You're awesome. Is that what you want to talk about today?
No, I don't care. Sorry, I got derailed.
It's just brag fest. It's just humble. It's not even humble brag. It's just
full on brag.
It's just full on brag.
I just kind of fell into let's update Mark mode. So no.
And I like it because I was thinking about you yesterday. I was like, we used to talk so often, and things have been so busy. I guess I'm not as much of a mess as I was 6 months ago, even though I'm still kind of a mess. And I was like, I don't talk to Evan as much as I used to anymore. So it's good. It's good to be able to catch up with you though.
Because part of the show was supposed to be catching up and people hanging out.
Yes.
So this is how I hang out, friends.
Oh, I have to tell you, I spent some time with Chris, our mutual friend Chris from Happy Worker yesterday.
Oh yeah. Okay. Nice.
I was in their neighborhood for a meeting in the afternoon. Why we couldn't do the podcast. And then after that meeting, I was like, you know what? I will go by and say hi. We spent an hour together catching up, and then he suggested, or he wanted me to say hi to you for him.
Okay, great. I just emailed him yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Huh.
We go back and forth a little bit on this.
Well, there you go. Anyway, he's looking good. And yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. Podcast topic today is.
So I have two ideas, but what I wanted to ask, is there anything you want to talk about, Evan? Is there anything you want to get off your chest?
No.
No?
No, I'm good.
You just want mush?
I'm mush?
You just want mush. Mush.
Oh, mush. Yeah. Mush. Okay, go. Yeah, mush.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. Here, I'm going to let you pick. Dealer's choice. Ready? You have two topics.
Number 2.
Well, but I can give them to you in any order that I want to give them to you because I haven't said it yet.
No, you already had an order that you knew you were going to go with, and I want number 2.
No, because as soon as you said that, I went, oh, which one should I?
No, you already knew, Mark. What was number 1? You knew what you're going to say is number 1.
Number 1? Okay, hold on.
Screw that one. I want the other one.
Okay. Yeah. So number 1 was going to be about business owners when things are going so messy that you have to apologize all the time and you start to run out of excuses and things get so bad that you face change. The other one is the tipping point where.
Tipping point. Okay.
Yeah, the tipping point where what I've learned, is it really only takes 2 or 3 things in a row to go right to suddenly transform and change everything.
Okay.
Right? To get the deal that leads to the next deal that leads to the next deal, and suddenly you're off to the races. To get the client that brings you repeat business, and then you're great. Hiring that one person that allows you to free up time to go focus on these other 2 things. Mm-hmm. It seems to me that there's these little bursts, these little momentum, these little domino momentum things that happen where in 2s or 3s, where it just transforms everything about what you're doing, your energy, how you feel about it, the momentum you're building. And so I'm curious actually because I recognize this looking back, if there's a way we can actually force it. Like if there's a way, the always be swimming, the always be jumping. But if there's a way that you can try and find these little domino things and then force them to happen so you have these breakthroughs all the time. But before we get that deep into it, one, have you found within your own business or within those you work with this like point, this valley, this point of things going wrong and feeling like, why am I even doing this? And then realizing that I just need to line up these 2 or 3 steps and then everything changes and gets better.
Are we talking about the valley again? We had a whole podcast about the valley.
Fine. Ignore the word, the valley, that I used. I like to use that analogy because so many of us find ourselves in the valley, Evan. I had a comment on my Instagram, the other day from someone who was at your Thought Leadership Academy who used those very terms. Right. He recognized a week or 2 ago that he was in the valley and he pushed through and he got to the other side and he was really happy for that.
I don't remember what I said, but I remember liking it.
You remember hating the valley. You remember
Okay.
liking that it's actually a stair step. You're always
Yeah.
climbing. You're
But the
always
valley is the
climbing.
emotional state, right? Yeah. The valley is the emotional state. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're getting yourself all excited again.
That's good. That's it. I think that thinking is what you're talking about now, but like
Is loser thinking? Is that where you're about to go?
almost like
Yeah, wow.
I want to find a better word for it. I was gonna say dangerous.
No,
In my head, I was
it's
thinking
loser
loser
thinking.
mentality.
Yes, you say that all
But
the time. That's fine. So a loser
but now it
mentality.
doesn't feel quite right. But I can't think of anything better at the moment. Here's why. I think people are the problem is you don't know what the perfect 2 or 3 steps are going to be, and then the thinking of all I need to do is figure out and force those 2 to 3 steps. That's the losing mentality thinking, because it forces you back into planning mode instead of the real answer, which is just you got to go off and do.
Okay.
The answer is doing. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know that it's 2 or 3 steps. It can be 1 step that totally revolutionizes your business. But what is that 1 step? You don't know. It could be anything. Like when I say you're 1 piece of content away, maybe it's a piece of content you make today. It should always be with the intention of whatever you're making is going to be great. But all the stuff this YouTube split test idea may be the greatest thing of all time or the worst. I don't know. The answer is faster action, more momentum. Try more, taste it, test it. That's the answer. Not trying to plan to how to get the perfect 2 to 3 steps.
I never said perfection.
No, but
I
that's
said,
how people can take it. Like, how do we force it? How do we force those 2 to 3 things to happen for us?
Of course, but you're trying to force this too. I've sat in conversations with you where this is what you do when you say, I'm an idiot. I don't know anything. What should I do to get better? Tell me what I should do. You're trying to force the unlocking of something new or of development or of inspiration or of insight or advice or whatever it is. When I sit down,
Hashtag Jack is strong. Just made a cameo.
Yeah. I know she's like walking around. She totally made me lose my train of thought now. Yeah, you want to say hi?
Choo choo.
Choo choo? What does choo choo mean? Oh, the train of thought has left me at the station. I used to have a physics teacher who used to say that.
I just said choo choo, Mike. That's it. I didn't say left you at the station.
Yeah, no, what he used to say
I think the danger in that thinking is that people, I want to default to action. Give me something and I'm going to go do something about it. That thinking will lead most people to more planning and thinking and strategizing and researching instead of the thing that they actually need with action.
Oh, so I remember now what I was going to say about the forcing.
There you go.
You know, like I like to sit down with people who are a few years ahead of me and say, you know, if I look back 5 years, I would be kicking myself and so pissed off that I didn't do this or this or this. So what would 5 years from now, Mark, be mad that I'm not doing right now? And so I like to sit down with people who are ahead of me and say, like, what am I not thinking about my business? What am I not doing? What am I not worrying about that I should be worrying about? What would future Mark be? Already. Thank you. But what would future Mark be really angry with current Mark about? That's the same type of forcing. When you sit down and you say, hey, you know, like things aren't going well. You know, I've been trying and testing and all of these things. I'm coming more from the moment of, is any of this even worth it? Should I even be doing this? Like, it's like, you're just one or 2 or 3 steps away from everything getting better and everything changing.
Right.
And that's the mentality to me. It's not the like, let me stop everything to figure out what the perfect next step is. It's
no, hold on. Not stop everything, because most people are already stopped.
No.
Yes, most people are already stopped. Yes, most people are like, yes.
No, most people are busy doing stuff that doesn't matter.
That equals stopped.
Okay.
You're stopped. You think you're doing something that matters. Meanwhile, you're a snail. You might as well be stopped.
Yes, that I would agree with. But if you think that people are going to hear what I'm saying and think they have to find the perfect answer, I'm going to say that people are going to hear what you're saying and saying, I'm not stopped. I'm busy all day, every day. But you're busy all day, every day doing the stuff that literally does not help you and doesn't matter.
Yep.
They may be stopped in terms of momentum, but in their head, they think they're crushing it.
No, people don't think they're crushing it. they're busy, but they don't think they're crushing it. Most people don't think they're crushing it.
Okay.
We can do a poll. Do you think you crushed today? No.
I will give you that then. I'll just give it to you. That's fine. Let's move on.
So the most important thing is more momentum. So I love Mark's, your idea of going to people and asking for suggestions. Awesome. That's great. Yes. And they tell you something, great. Go do something about it. That's where most people get caught up.
No. I don't actually do anything. I just like to listen to them because it makes me feel good.
Great.
No, I'm joking.
Listen.
I'm joking.
I know, Mark.
That's the wrong. Come on, take the bait.
No, I'm not taking your bait. That was way too obvious. That was lazy.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try and be more conniving in the future.
Even though I'm super tired, we can still smell that a mile away, Mark. Yeah, I think if you, the way that you said it can be taken in two different ways. If you see that as hope, I think it's great. If you see that as all I need is for one thing to change or one thing to happen or one video to break through or one client to call me back, I'm just one more no away before I get the yes. If that's your mindset, then yes, that's amazing. That can help. Mm-hmm. The other side, the dangerous side, is thinking I need to have that perfect XYZ, and then I'm going to go back into planning mode and research mode and then not take any action. Yeah.
And I mean, if that is, I wouldn't even think that way. So I think that's a trap that we can fall into for sure.
So the answer is momentum.
The answer is to, I guess where I'm coming from, because I've spoken to many owners who are in this situation. And because I've been running my company for 13 years, I can look back now and go, year one was hard. We didn't make any money. We were living below the poverty line, but it was new and it was fresh. And as hard as it was and as uncertain it was, it felt like a moment of time, right? You can do anything for a moment of time. You're running, you're out of breath, you got 5 minutes left. You can run for 5 minutes because you have that end date and window. And so when you're starting, you think, this is just this year and it'll get better. Year 2 or 3 is when it's really hard because now it's not actually that much better. It's long enough that you're like desperate and things are going wrong and you don't know if you can turn it around and you're questioning why you're doing it and you feel like you've wasted a lot of time. I found year 2 or 3 harder than year 1. But when I've spoken to a few people, when they're trying to grow and scale their team and they're like, I have no money to hire. It's just like, it just needs that one client to fund that one thing, to get that little, take that little step of cash to be able to hire that right person. And then the momentum suddenly starts to build. It's that hockey stick, right? Like slow. And then now it's growing. That's what I'm talking about when I say, things are really hard. You're questioning why you should keep doing it. It's just that thing that clicks at the right time that you will then look back on and go, I don't even know how I got here, right? Like somehow along the way, everything just shifted and changed. And now it's not as hard as it used to be.
Yeah. So then I would add a caveat or an extension of your line that it only takes 1 or 2 micro moments to change everything, but you don't know what that micro moment is.
So that's what I wanted to ask you, though, is how we could figure out a way to proactively plan this micro moment.
That's what I'm fighting against, because you want to plan, and I'm saying you can't, right? That's what I'd led with, and then you.
But sometimes it's obvious.
No.
Okay, Evan. For the last year within my company, we've been struggling to hire for a very specific role. And time after time after time, you keep telling me that like this role is the linchpin of my company. It's super, super important. We need to find the right person. All of our value prop is based on finding this right person. So finding that right person is one of those domino things, right? Like it's obvious that we find the right person, we put them in the role, we build the systems around them, we deliver tons of value. Suddenly this whole part of my company is just operating a lot better and living up to the promises, and not having this person's holding me back. So how isn't that one of those momentum building domino effects that's clearly obvious?
Because you had that mindset when you first started building the agency and got the wrong person in, and it's 3 years of nothing. right? Like you need to get the right person. And maybe you hire the person and you decide, I don't want to do this thing anymore, right? Like you don't know. You don't know, which is why I rebelled against it when you first said it, because you're trying to plan for it to be better. You can't. You get an idea, you do something. When I launched my top 10s was because of you as a one-off, right?
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I literally had nothing to do with it. All I did was
that is not true.
No, I inspired you to get
Yes.
angry enough to say something and do
That's
something.
having something to do with it, Mark.
But I didn't help you develop the idea. I didn't yeah, okay.
Your presence alone.
Well, listen, you're welcome.
Mark Drager is at the epicenter of a lot of my great ideas.
I do actually really like that. I do like the fact that just randomly somehow when we look back, we're like, huh, I shot your first video for you. Interesting.
Right.
You know, I came up with my one word, not even knowing it was my one word before you even developed your one word
right.
as a concept. And then later you came and told me, hey, remember 2 years ago when you said that thing? You know, the top 10, and yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun actually to go like, hey, over the last 10 years, somehow I've been along for the ride.
But this is it. Like it makes sense looking backwards, but you can't plan for it moving forwards.
I don't like that. Help me.
I know you don't, but that's the problem. You're trying to plan. That's loser thinking. That's the whole, that's why I attacked it from the beginning.
So what's winner thinking then?
You have the hope. You have the knowledge that knowing that one next thing could be the big break for your business, but you don't know what that is. And so you need to try everything that comes into your head. Mm-hmm. Start small, build momentum. The biggest thing missing is momentum. You don't need more planning. You need more momentum.
Can I tell you a side story that something that I've always held on to? I've said it a bunch of times and I may have even said it to you, but others have told me that it's helped them. I used to listen to a comedian's podcast where comedians would talk about the structure of comedy, and because I'm really interested in wordplay and structure and things like that. But anyway, they were talking about how a comedian blows up and becomes big, because it seems to happen. But there's tons of work and tons of effort and everything behind the scenes for years and years and years. Anyway, what they said was that your career, your growth, your path is like a line. You know, being able to hit the goals you want is like a line. You get in line and you don't know how long it will take you to get to the front of the line. But if you ever step out of line, you have to start back at the back. So, you know, you're doing what you're doing, you're trying, and then you go, this is too hard, I'm going to take away. And then you come back a year or two later and you're like, I want to start again. You got to start at the back. You just have to keep working at it, stay in line, keep your head down, and eventually you get to the front of the line. And then I was listening to a podcast, or I guess a Jerry Seinfeld, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, yesterday. And he was talking to someone who basically the greatest advice he ever got when he was 21 was someone came up to him and said, just keep working and work on your material. And that was it. It was like, there's nothing fancy about it. Keep working on your material. Keep coming out, keep working, and you'll get better. You'll develop your skill. All of those things will happen.
Are you trying to sell yourself on the idea now, or what?
No. I'm not trying to sell myself on the idea. I'm trying to figure out now. This is the problem with Mark's stories sometimes. It's tying it back to what Evan was saying, but my uncle was calling me for some reason mid podcast. Anyway, so where I was going with this though is, I don't remember where I was going now. Evan.
Both of those stories are basically aligned with what I was saying.
Yes.
But okay, but
so there you go. So I'm saying these stories. Thank you. So I'm saying these stories to reinforce your point of view that you are.
So right. I just asked, are you trying to sell yourself on this point of view now? Because you were coming at it from the opposite side.
Because I believe these things, but what I want is to figure out a way to spot the opportunity and force it better.
It's 595. It's a 595 rule. This is what the 595 rule is. The whole thing.
Okay. What's that? It's the whole thing. It's everything. It's the entire game. It's the entire game.
Yeah.
Not the podcast.
Right.
No, we've gone with the 2%, but we've never done 595.
5% planning, 95% doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that planning is evil or wrong or not required. It is. It's needed. But it should only be 5% of your time. So in that 5%, can you think about, how do I get there faster? What's my next idea that I want to work on? How do I model success? How do I get that meeting with the person who's 5 years ahead of me who might be able to give me some advice, right? That's the 5% planning. Great. 95% doing.
Mm-hmm.
Most people flip it. They're 95% planning and 5% doing. That's the problem. That's why you're stuck. You're listening, you're watching. That's why you're stuck. You're spending too much time planning and not enough time doing because you can't plan for the perfect business.
You know, I think we also get caught up in doing the wrong things though, too. I this happens to me all the time when I just have, this happened to you even, when I just have this, then I'll be able to do that. Right. So when you had your tech startup and you were looking to basically get acquired, you know, you talk about your story where you're like, I just need the right pitch and then I'll be able to go out and sell the company. Meanwhile, you spent way too much time building the right pitch that you lost your opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we targeted the wrong company.
Yeah.
But so when I'm making something, my hopes and dreams are like wrapped up in this thing, right? I make a new video and it's like, this is going to be the one that blows me up. Or like, this video is going to be the one that just takes off and 10 million views. This is it. And then it tanks. Okay, let's go. Next. It's the willingness to like pour everything you've got into this thing and then just release it and then pour everything you got into the next thing.
Right.
And one of those things will take off. But you need to treat each thing like it could be the thing that blows you up and then not be attached to the result of it blowing you up or not, because you'll move on to something else. It's the whole thing.
It's everything. It's the entire game. It's the entire game.
It is. That is the mindset.
I think we're almost there. I think we're very, very close, Evan, to having you say that about every topic we talk about on every episode. Last week I said it's the whole thing, and you went, no, it's not. I didn't say it was everything, but we're very close to hitting a everything is everything all the time count with Evan Carmichael.
You can rename the podcast.
Everything is everything.
You can go back and tie a line between all the things that I have said. It's the whole thing too, and recognize that it's all actually the same thing.
And what's that? Take action.
Mindset. Yeah.
Mindset. Believe.
It is. It's mindset. It's belief. That's what it is. It's all belief. It's belief. Sure. It's mindset. All you talk. That's why I said what I was thinking is loser mindset.
Yeah.
Or loser thinking. And I want to come out with dangerous. And you just went right to loser.
Yeah, because I knew you were hedging. It was hedge city right there.
It was. I still don't have the right words. It's not loser and it's not dangerous. It's something else that I'm not articulating well. But yeah, that's the problem. That you'll be over planning. That is the perfectionist curse. If you're perfectionist and creative, you're screwed.
You do know that perfectionism just comes from being, I mean, I'm sure you do, right? It just comes from being extremely insecure, right? Indecisive and insecure.
But if you're creative, the beginning needs to be messy.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be messy. If you're growing, if you're changing things, the beginning has to be messy. So I'm launching all these channels. It's the beginning of those channels. It's messy. We're going to make mistakes. Even though we're planning for everything, like we're going to make I'm sure we're going to make mistakes. That's how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're creative and you're trying to make the beginning not messy, you're screwed. You're going to hate your life. You're never going to be happy. So stop.
What's the problem for those non-creative people?
You've suppressed your creativity because everybody's creative. You've believed the lie that your parents or you told yourself.
You just made yourself so proud. I love that moment. That little glimmer when you're just like, yeah, this is something.
Everybody's creative.
I think so as well.
It's just you told yourself a story that why you can't.
Yeah.
So anyway, have hope.
I picked that up early actually because you used to do the first time I met you, Evan. The very first time I met you was at the mastermind. You used to run a mastermind Toronto groups, and you used to bring the groups to a business owner and have like a 2-hour session where they would just kind of talk to the group.
Okay.
And we went to some office downtown with a guy named Frank
Cianciulli from
some kind of recruitment company.
Yeah, he sold it. He runs the Wish Group right now. Anyway, super successful Canadian entrepreneur.
He runs Wish, an online retail company.
No. Wish
Oh,
Group is a charity. He's a
okay.
charity and holding company, I think. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah. Enunciate, I think, was his.
Yes. Enunciate.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah,
Anyway,
Frank.
that's the first time I ever met you.
Oh, really?
And yep, you met me down there. I brought some camera gear down there. It was like 3 or 4 months before I even joined the mastermind group. I
Okay.
shot some stuff for you. And he said, and it always stuck with me.
Wow.
He said, I feel like an artist, but my canvas is business. It's not, I can't draw, I can't paint, but I know that I'm an artist and I know that I'm creative, but I can only express myself through business. And that was always something that just made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. So everybody's an artist. Even look at, singers that make their songs and they might think something is a hit and it doesn't take off. And then like, that's the song that became a hit. Okay.
Right.
Off their own album. That was just a throwaway that we kind of put in there.
Yeah.
And there's tons of those stories. Tons of those stories.
Is it dangerous? Is it dangerous to believe too much in something?
No, it's dangerous to believe too much in the results of something.
You
gotta love the thing you're making and put everything you've got into it. They're like, this creation could change the world. And then if it doesn't, okay, this creation can change. And okay, this creation can change. You gotta just keep moving. It's dangerous to say, how did that thing not work? I can't believe that guy's making money off of this thing. My thing is 1,000 times better than that guy.
I can clearly see that what you just did is not the right mindset. It's, it's cynical and angry and bitter. But I also think the hopeful one that you did before, the super optimistic, positive, like I'm going to pour myself into this and this is going to crack. Oh, it didn't crack. Never mind. What's next? What's next? What's next?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I feel like both. I feel like I hear what you're saying on the optimistic side. I don't even know if I can bring myself to do that. And
Great.
I don't know if I'll spend more time beating myself up for not being as Evan Carmichael because I just can't get there.
Listen, you're already becoming more optimistic. It's already happened. It's already happened.
Sure. But when you say things like, you have to care enough to love the work. And I go like, oh man, there's so much stuff that I do that I just don't, I don't love, when people go, you got to love the process. And I'm like, but I don't love the process, like on all kinds of things. So,
well, micro, macro, right? Like macro, you got to love the process. Micro, there's a ton of garbage you have to deal with.
Yeah.
But if macro, you don't love the process, then yeah, you got to get yourself out of it.
Like I love the process of, I love, maybe not even the process, the idea. I love trimming trees and I love cutting grass and all that stuff. When you're like 6 hours in though, of like, you've cut all these branches and now you're just hauling branches and doing all this, like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. Why am I doing this? I hate it. But
great.
But big picture, I'm just like, oh man, look at how good that tree looks. And I feel so good. And I'm outside and all that stuff. And you can apply that to business too. You can apply that to all the different tasks that we have to do as entrepreneurs.
Net, you have to love it. Did I love that I didn't sleep well the past 3 nights? No.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Come on. Don't lie to yourself. You love it. You love it. You know how much you've been talking about it today?
I love myself for going through it, but I don't love it.
Okay, but aren't you supposed to love it? Because you just said, aren't you supposed to love it? Or you're saying it's cool to hate it, you grit your teeth and do it anyway?
Micro, macro. There's lots of stuff in the micro that I don't love doing that have to get done. I don't like, I'd rather not be doing thumbnails tomorrow. And I hope that everybody pulls their stuff together so that I don't have to do anything tomorrow, but there's probably gonna be a few that I have to redo. So I don't love that I have to do that. But while I'm doing it.
But hold on, you say you don't love it. Do you hate it?
I don't hate it. I hate the idea of it, I guess, that in the micro, that's not what I want to be doing on a Saturday. I hate the idea that I have to do this on a Saturday in the micro.
Okay. Are you dreading it?
No.
Are you?
Because in the
are you
macro,
angry? Or no, but hold on. Let's stay on the micro for a second. Are you angry and upset that you should have people and you should have systems, and why does this have to come to me?
Come on. No.
So you like it?
No.
Yeah.
What?
If you don't hate it, you love it.
Wow. I said, I hate the idea that I have to do it on a Saturday.
See, you took the bait on that one.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
This is how Mark gets off, ladies and gentlemen.
I actually do. This is why I'm so lucky that I met my wife when I did, because most of the time when I'm trying to just like poke people and then I'm like, I made them really angry and took it way too far, you know.
What does that have to do with your wife?
Well, like in dating, or, you know, like I've been with her 20 years, so I don't have to flirt with people, but I wasn't very good at flirting with people when I was younger, because
But
it's
how does
always
this
just
relate
like,
back to your wife? You met her early, so you weren't like this and then you changed, or what?
no, I'm glad that I met her early. And then I got that all out of the way, because if I was single today trying to meet people, I would just not do a good job at it. That's what I'm saying.
I still don't get it. You were not poking her when you were dating?
I was, but she put up with it.
But how's it any different than if you were single now? You'd be poking people and you have to find someone who put up with it.
I guess so. I never thought of it that way.
That's stupid.
It makes sense to me. I'm lucky I met my wife, so I don't have to deal with this today.
What? That has nothing to do with poking people, though. I'm the tired one, Mark. Anyway, rounding the whole thing up, you have to have hope that you're one step away, that you're not going to quit just before it's going to end, right? Like you're going to quit just before you have that moment, that breakthrough. You're one step away, but you don't know what that step is. So you got to try everything. Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what? This reminds me. I was on a podcast yesterday, and the guy's guest before me was Seth Godin.
Oh, big name.
He has a book called The Dip, which I think speaks to your Valley concept. I haven't read The Dip, but the idea that people go through this dip before coming up. And so he leads the question with, I asked this question to Seth Godin about his book, The Dip, and he couldn't answer it. So I want to ask you. Like,
wow.
You're going to ask me about something Seth Godin wrote in his book that he couldn't answer, and now I get the...
You so love like, it.
Okay, I like, let's go. I'm excited. Like, what's he going to ask me? And he's like, okay, how do you know when you're in the dip whether you should quit or not?
Yeah, you can answer this question.
And then I smile like, I got a great
answer. You're like, you got the answer. Do you love it?
Love the process.
Yep, I've already heard you answer this question a bunch of times.
Right? So that's micro macros, what we're talking about. Day to day, you might wake up and hate a bunch of the stuff that you're doing, but like, net, do you love it? Like, I love making videos, but do I love, if my camera is not, like the settings are off, or the light bulb goes off in my light here, or the microphone isn't set up properly? No, none of that stuff. But it's also not enough that, like, doesn't make sense to have somebody.
But that's so micro and macro. Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
I was thinking yesterday, like, I've already gotten to the point where I'm not dreading, but I don't look forward to shooting my IG videos. I've already gotten to that point where it's like they're a lot better. We're getting a lot better. I'm getting a lot better on camera. I spent an hour and a half figuring out my points, so that way they're more on point and all those stuff. And it's already starting to become a process. You need to it's just not fun anymore.
No, you got to change it. It's over. The second I'm like, hey, Mark, I'm looking at my calendar and I'm like, oh my God, I got to do Mark Drager. The podcast is shut down.
I know. And that's why I always got to keep things spicy. I always got to keep it changing things up.
Awesome, Mark. So keep things spicy for yourself.
Yes, I know.
That's what you need to do. So whether it's making different Instagram videos, or just connecting better to the message, or talking about different things, or you stop doing Instagram and move on to something else.
Oh, I like the outcome of the Instagram.
That's the problem.
We're actually finally putting out better content. It's finally connecting better. We're getting more, we're growing we stopped growing through the summer. We're growing now. Yeah. I love the outcome, man.
Awesome. You bought yourself a job. Congratulations.
Yeah. That would be that I was going to say be on my tombstone, but that will be the name of my autobiography. Mark, he bought himself a job.
Great. So fix it. What's Mark in 5 years going to say that you're going to regret?
Lots of things.
No, you bought yourself a job.
I know. but this is who I am. This is how I think. I've done this season after season, time after time.
So fix it.
You know, I'm a starter. I'm
Mark, just
what?
fix it. Come on. You were also the guy who said I'm either the happy fat guy or I'm the skinny upset guy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
oh, look, he changed. Just decide to change, Mark. Come on.
I was going to text you the other night, but I knew you were busy. I've gained weight.
Okay.
I've gained 5 pounds in the last 3 weeks after
Because?
like hitting, I don't know. I'm working out a lot more. People keep saying, oh, it's muscle, but you can't gain 5 pounds of muscle in a month. I looked it up. So I don't know.
It's diet. What did you change in your diet?
I'm getting a lot stricter again. I started fasting for longer, but
And
then
you gained weight by fasting for longer?
I'm fasting for longer, but because I'm working out so much at the end of the fast, I'm way more hungry. So I think my portion size has gone up. And anyway, so I'm trying to eat I'm doing a 1 week challenge of eating really, really simple. And it's
But
like,
you see how you're
so
doing
hard.
This is
so
what you
hard.
need to do. Dude, this is what you need to do for everything.
What's that?
How much weight have you lost total?
Well, I had lost 50 pounds, but
50 pounds. Great.
But then now I'm just a 45.
Got it. So a 10% change made you feel totally different and is sparking now restrictions, right? You're going to make a change.
Yeah.
You need to do that everywhere. You feel 10% worse on Instagram making videos. Ooh, what's going on? I need to keep it spicy.
Yeah.
For yourself, not for Evan Carmichael. You got to keep things spicy for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
You know that I go back and listen to these podcasts and I always go like, oh yeah, I got to do that. Like
I should have listened more instead of poking so much. I haven't listened to a single episode.
I know because you don't edit them. I edit all the audio from the podcast.
But you listen it back to edit it, or you listen it back to listen to it?
I listen back to edit it, and then I upload it, and then I listen back when it's live. And a lot of times I find myself laughing along with us, which I know is like
that's amazing.
I know it's ridiculous, but I'll be driving in traffic and I'll be like,
that's the best.
And I'll be like, gosh, this is really funny. We got a great energy. This was a good episode. And then I'll listen to another one and I'll be like, oh my goodness. It's so last week's episode, people don't even realize last week's episode. Maybe if you're on YouTube, you've seen the whole thing, but our audio, I cut out almost 20 minutes because it was just so painful. You know, we didn't get good until like 35 minutes in. So I had to
talk about last week.
We talked about the entrepreneur who was too controlling, who, you know, I was worried that as entrepreneurs were too controlling, and it just circled. But it was good what we put out, and I like to listen back and we're really good at this. Gosh, there's something to this.
Great. And you enjoy the process of it.
Yes, on the macro.
So that's what you need to do more of.
Yeah.
So fix your Instagram. Stop posting the same stuff.
Yeah.
So how are you going to make it spicy this week?
I don't know. I got to think about it. I got to think about what excites me. You don't like that answer?
No, just pick something. What comes to your mind?
What comes to my mind? I love releasing new sets of photos. So there's so many things I want to do. That's the thing. There's so many things.
Pick one, Mark. Pick one. Jesus, get out of your head. Pick one.
There's lots. Like I want to release a series of sales tips as graphic layouts, but I haven't had time to pull the sales tips and lay them out.
Great. So don't film another video this week and make your graphic sales tips.
Okay.
There you go. You don't have to think about it. Do it. This is the whole thing. It's back to mindset process. Let's go.
I feel like your tagline should literally be,
this is the whole thing.
The entire game.
This is the whole
game.
But it is.
This is like, everything.
You just embodied what most people screw up on.
Okay.
You're doing this thing that you don't like anymore. And then how do you make it?
I like how good they are.
No, you don't like the process of doing it anymore.
Tiring. It's just so much effort.
Then it's wrong. Dude, right now I'm exhausted. I think I have a fever right now. I feel my head like pounding. And I mean, this is awesome. I'm going to pass out on the plane after this. You started with, I don't like that I have to go make these Instagram videos. Okay, great. How are you going to make it spicy? I don't know. I got to think about it. And then like 2 sentences later, I've got tons of ideas. Pick one, just do it. I want to make my 9-part series on what? Sales tips with pictures.
I just want just simple graphic layouts, just like one-liner, just tips that people can have easily, so that way they can.
Great. So get it out of your system, Mark. That to-do list is not getting any shorter. So make it. So tell your guy, we're not filming videos this week.
Right.
Because I'm not enjoying the process. So here's a challenge for you. Go create a piece of content. And give him some creative license to make something, and maybe it's a piece of garbage, or who knows? Yeah. You never know. Maybe it's the next step that blows everything up. Meanwhile, you're going to spend the time working on your 9 sales tips. Yeah. And then maybe you become the sales tip guy forever, or maybe you hate it and then you never do it again. Awesome.
Well, I'll get bored of it and we'll move on to the next thing.
Great. But then you'll find some things that you don't get so bored of.
Yeah.
That's what you do forever.
Swim forever.
Yeah. What? Why you give me
No, I thought you were going to keep going. I was like,
no, that's it. That's what you need to do. Stop thinking, stop planning. Just ask yourself, you went from, I don't know, I got to think about it, to, I don't know, I have lots of ideas. So then,
I do have lots of ideas. I can rhyme them off.
Do something. Just do something.
I want to redo our YouTube trailer. I have.
Great. Film that. How about you film that? Great. Stop doing Instagram.
No,
IGTV,
Instagram,
whatever.
Instagram's fun. Instagram's fun.
What you just said it wasn't fun.
No. The content is heavy. The interactions and the posting and the writing the captions is the fun part.
Okay, great. So make a video on that. I'm not liking making these Instagram videos. I'm gonna be honest. I love interacting with you, but it kind of feels like a job now making these videos. So here I am ranting. I love you. I'll see you soon. Stay tuned for some sales tips coming at you.
Yeah.
Post. Yeah, you take one idea and you do something about it. That's what's missing, instead of finding the perfect next thing, because you're only 2 or 3 perfect steps away.
I like it. You just wrapped such a nice little bow on all of this stuff.
I felt we'd have to keep you a little bit in line on this one. Like, you've been kind of scatterbrained on this one.
Have I?
Yeah.
Not
finishing stories. It's kind of all over the place, but we wrapped it up.
Thank you. It happens. So it's funny, like on Wednesdays we do the Q&A.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at it.
You're crushing it.
Well, thank you. I feel like I'm getting a little better at it. If I was interviewing you, I've never sat down to interview you, but I'm amazing at interviewing people.
I can see that.
But it happens to me often. If you were interviewing me, one, I forget what the question is. So I'll start talking about something that I think is amazing, and then I forget how to tie it back to the question because I've literally forgotten the question. Or sometimes I'll just start with something based off of something you said, and I'll be like, oh, this reminds me of this and this and this and this. And then I forget what you said, so I forget how to bring it even around. It's just something I need to work on.
All of our early episodes of you destroying me from my memory. I was going to say lambasting, but is that a word?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, is that
the actual word? That's better. That's better.
You lambasting me for my poor memory.
I have an amazing memory. I lose my train of thought. It's a different thing.
You just don't focus on what matters.
Oh, great. Great. What matters, Evan?
The conversation you're having right in front of your face, because you're living in the past to the future instead of the present.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think that's the whole game.
You tell me that I get anxiety about the wrong things. You tell me that I focus on the wrong things.
Yes. Focus and anxiety are the same thing.
But anxiety is a fear of the future, of what
because you're focused on it, because you're thinking about it. That's the problem.
Okay. So you think my anxiety is tied to me thinking too much about the future and the unknown. You think my sentimentality is about me being, having a loser mentality about the past. You want me to be more present. Some people, I think I'm actually a bit of a present thinker, but some people aren't present.
You just said you're in the middle of a conversation and you forget what the conversation is about.
Yeah.
That's not present thinking, my guy. That's because you're all over the place.
Hold on. I got to ask you, I've heard you say it for the last 3 or 4 weeks. You've never said it before.
What?
Where did this "my guy" come from?
Oh,
where did this start? I don't like it.
Really?
I don't like it at all.
I don't know if it's from the hip hop world. or it's just a young.
No, I've heard other people say it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why you're saying it suddenly.
Oh, because I don't know. I'm around them. I'm doing interviews with them. I'm doing Instagram lives with them. People are DMing me.
Yeah.
It's
It doesn't feel on brand.
oh, on brand is me. If I'm me, I'm on brand. So therefore, I'm on brand.
No. Like I called you buddy a bunch of times and you're like, buddy, what? But meanwhile, you're walking around now calling everyone my guy. I don't like it.
I don't care if you like it. This is my brand, Mark.
Great. Well, I am a friend and I'm telling you, it comes off strange from you.
I don't mind strange. I am strange. I'll paint
Fine.
my
I will pick
fingernails.
a less hedgy word.
Okay.
It doesn't match your voice, Evan.
I am my voice. So if I said it, it matches it.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
I'll let it go.
There was
I'll
some.
let it go. Just so you know, every time that you say my guy, just
You
think
cringe. A little blood
Oh,
cell
yeah.
in you. It pops inside.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it actually jump. You know when you don't watch TV, but the Olympics, right? The Olympics has to be said in English and in French. And so you speak French, so you may not even notice. But most of the time when you're speaking French, it's like, blah, 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 blah. And then they say something in English and it's like, blah, 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 United Kingdom. Blah, blah, and it's like just this English word just like pops out amongst all this stuff you don't even understand. That's what my guy does to me. You're talking, I'm in, and then you're like, my guy. And it's just like.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You remember when I said it's popping one of your cells inside?
Yeah.
Every time I say my guy, it pops maybe 2 cells because it's two words, my guy.
Yeah.
Right? It's popping 2 cells inside Mark.
Yeah.
It's popping the cancer cells.
Sure.
My guy.
Sure.
Popping those cancer cells. You have cancer cells inside you.
Yeah.
They are being popped bit
Great.
by bit.
Do you think every time you say my guy, it's actually positive somehow?
Healing. It's
How?
healing.
Explain how to me. Explain
because
how.
it's getting you more comfortable with the thing that you're uncomfortable with. Why does it trigger you so much? Who cares what I say?
I just think it sounds foolish coming for you, and I care about you. I care about your brand. I care about what you say. I noticed that 4 weeks ago you started saying it, and you say it a lot, and it seems weird to me.
It's all a reflection of self.
Okay. Thank you, my guy.
We're popping your cancer cells.
Thank
That's
you.
what's happening. We're
Thank
pulling you. You said at the beginning. See how I remember? You said at the beginning, you want me to be more successful. I'm going to pull you with me.
Yeah.
This is the process.
I didn't say pull you with me. I said drag me along.
Great. This is the process. Yep.
Yep.
This is the process.
Amazing. We will leave it there.
Great.
Do you feel like we answered everything we were supposed to answer? Talked about everything we were supposed to talk about?
Sure.
This is a fun episode.
Okay.
I had fun. Even though I may have lost my train of thought along the way.
Yeah, you were super off track on this one. Are you tired? Like, what happened today?
Yeah. So we started this thing. So one, I've hit the gym every single day this week, but we started this thing yesterday called Hell Week, where my gym is trying to emulate, what the Navy SEALs do.
Okay.
And so they are very, very, very aggressive workouts. And because a lot of people have to come, I have to get to the gym like extra early. Like I have to get there like 5 after 5 in order to get my spot so I can like start where I want to start and do what I want to do. And yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just jazzed up from all the coffee and all the workouts.
All right.
Yeah.
I hope you're well.
Thank you.
You're healing. We
Thank
already
you.
popped a couple cancer cells today, so
yeah.
Some more.
Yeah. I don't like all of these little things happen in the week where I'm just like, awesome. Yeah, good. And like, I'm learning from past things and I don't report back to you because I'm not sure if the podcast is really that interested, but like last Friday, do you remember 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were talking about, I don't know if you have to go on the minute or not, but 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were talking about the fact that like I crush it and then I want to take the rest of the day off.
Yeah.
Last week though, Friday, I had to go into the office. We did all of this work. I was crushing it. And then I usually leave at 4. So I think it was like 2:45. And I finished a lot of the things I wanted to finish that day, but I have all these projects looming. And I was like, I could just take it easy. I could go home. Like I could celebrate. I could pull an Evan and be like, well, I'm going to celebrate how hard I worked. But instead I opened up the next project and then just got to work on it. And then when I was driving home, I was like, I feel so good.
Right?
Having made a tiny bit of progress.
Yeah.
But I know that I used that hour and 15 minutes. I know that I'm actually further ahead now. So when I come in on Monday morning or if over the weekend I work on it, but mostly I feel really good
Proud of myself
for just jumping on it.
Right? That's what I'm talking about, dude. That's the whole game.
Yeah. So I am learning things along the way. I
know you are,
I don't
man.
always report back, but
No, you don't have to. I know it. I already know it. I already see it.
yeah.
We're popping cancer cells.
Thank you,
my
Evan.
guy.
Thank you, Evan. I love you, man. I appreciate it. Everything you've done for me. And yeah.
Love you back, man. Let's do it.
Okay.
If you guys like this video and want to know our thoughts on our entrepreneurs too controlling, check the video right there next to us. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and we'll see you there. I hate the cheer song.
We also talk about, as entrepreneurs, are we too controlling? Do we create toxic environments? Do we hire the wrong people? Are we bad bosses?